What's up, guys? I hope you're all feeling good today. So, I want to talk in this video about the subject of feeling like life is meaningless because somebody left a comment on one of my videos asking me to talk about the feeling of emptiness and meaninglessness. And, maybe they were asking me to give advice or talk about how to deal with that. And I'm not necessarily sure of, how to deal with it, but I want to just ask the question, why do we feel that way? Why do we sometimes feel that life is meaningless, or why do we feel that sense of emptiness? What do you guys think? And where do you think it comes from? And have you experienced this? And what has that been like for you? I think that my thoughts on this are this: that if you feel like life is meaningless, it's almost like you woke up and you realized, like, what's the point? What are we doing? Why am I doing all these things every day? Why should I care about this stuff? And I think that a lot of it comes from the fact that we know that we're going to die someday, and it almost makes everything else feel not that significant. So I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with feeling empty or like life is meaningless. Like, of course, it could be a sign that you're dealing with some sort of, mental health issue like depression, and that maybe you should try going to therapy or try dealing with it, getting it taken care of, whatever, doing whatever you need to do to get better. But the sense, like, why is it that we feel that way? You know, um, I think here's what I think: two people can be doing the same thing, and one person gets a lot of joy and excitement from it, and the other person feels nothing. They feel like it's um just repetitive, going through the same motions. Like, for example, if two people are playing the same video game, one person can be playing the video game and think, I'm just clicking buttons, none of this matters, like, this isn't fun, and the other person can be totally locked in and focused on the game, and they could be getting all sorts of pleasure and joy and enjoyment from playing the video game. They love the exploration in the game, trying new things out, trying to overcome challenges, right? And that's sort of how you get your meaning in life, is having a goal or some sort of challenge that you're trying to overcome, and you trying to do something to overcome that challenge, right? So people playing video games will get frustrated if it's competitive, if they're trying to beat other people. Like, if you lose, you're going to get mad, right? Um, and then if you win, you're going to celebrate and feel all sorts of like a sense of accomplishment, right? So here's what I think: if you feel like life is empty or meaningless, it almost seems like maybe you're depressed, right? It almost seems like you have like a lack of emotions, right? Like a lack of feelings. Like, you just don't feel anything. You don't get anything out of life. And um I think that that's really why I'm asking this question of, like, why do we feel that way? Like, why do we feel like a lack of emotions about things? Why does it seem sometimes like you just I like like, what is that sensation of meaninglessness? Is it simply the lack of emotions, or is it a lack of motivation, right? Is there, like, I just don't care enough to go do things. Like, I don't like I understand I have to go to work every day, and like, that's just something I do. But, like, why should I care about it? Like, why should I be motivated to go to work? Some people get motivated to go to work because you really like the job, or you like the people, or you're trying to further your career to that next step. I think that's just sort of the feeling that some people have with the sense of meaningless, is like you might think about, like, oh yeah, these next steps, like, you get one step further, and then there's going to be another step, and I think some people just sort of see that process, and you just sort of say, I don't want to play that game, because I know that you're always going to have one more step up. You're going to get here, then there's always going to be something else. You're going to get there, there's always going to be something else. It's like, well, we're all just going to die someday. And unfortunately, that's what it all comes down to, I think, for a lot of people. That's why people have this feeling of not wanting to live life anymore, because you just know that at some point, you know, it's all going to be over, and it sort of just kind of it just sort of makes everything else seem less like I don't really have the right words for this. Like this is a really difficult thing for me to talk about. Like it makes things feel hopeless. And I felt hopeless at times. I've been depressed at points in my life. I'm familiar with the feelings of emptiness and meaninglessness. But that's not always been the case for me. I have, for me personally, I'm not stuck there. Here's what I think. Here's one more thing I'll say. Well, I think that the process of dealing with this sense of meaninglessness is to try to find a purpose in life, to find your why. Why should I care? Why do I do things? And whether that means, you know, doing something for yourself, or whether that means doing something for you, or whether that means doing something helping other people, whether that means um, creating things, the process of making something new in life, exploring life, doing something with like that's something that you have to find for yourself, that sense of why, that purpose, find your why. But I really do think that it's there's nothing wrong with asking the question why, what's the point, right? That's a very intelligent thing to say. It's a very like you're probably a smart person if you're thinking about what the meaning of life is, and if you wake up and you're wondering, what am I doing? You know, what's the point of all this? Why should I care? You know, it's almost like you see things more clearly. You recognize the repetition. You realize that most people, when they live their life, they're not thinking. They're not thinking about what they're doing or why they're doing it. And so you almost like woke up and said, "Oh, I don't want to live mindlessly. I don't want to live just going through the motions and not thinking about why." And I think that that shows an incredible amount of self-awareness, or just awareness in general of life. And I think that if you're feeling empty or you feel like life is meaningless, I think what that means is that you're lost. You're looking for something. You're looking for a way for life to give you that sense of feeling alive, that sense of so the question is just, how do you get there? How do you go from feeling empty and meaningless to feeling that sense of purpose? And that's something that is still a little bit I don't know the answer to that. But it definitely starts with trying things and having that awareness. But um it's just about trying to find a direction to go in life, and create, you're a human being. The life is just about your own desires, your own wants, and setting goals, and taking action and doing things. And if you're depressed, you almost feel like you don't care about anything. So um man, I guess I'm sort of running out of what to say here, if I'm being honest with you. So I just wanted to bring up this topic. Like I don't know how to wrap this up nicely. Like I'm thinking about this and I'm just like, I want to like like this is such a heavy topic of like, it's so just it's such a topic of like it's like a dark pit of like just hopelessness and meaninglessness. And it's like I'm talking about the subject, and I keep thinking to myself, okay, how do I spin this around to be some sort of like positive message of like helping people find that sense of purpose? And I don't have it right now. I don't have it. And I hate to end the conversation here, or to end what I'm saying without saying something good and positive. But the thing that everybody's looking for, what we're looking for, because you wake up and you realize that people are just going through the motions every day without thinking, what you're looking to do is you're looking to live consciously. You are looking to make decisions for a reason, for a purpose. You don't just want to go through the motions. You just don't want to do things just because it's what you're supposed to do or because it's what other people do. You want to live for yourself. You want to live. That's all I can think about, man. That's it. So anyway, I don't know. Kind of a I'm this video today is just about me trying to bring up this topic and talk about it, but at this point, I don't know what else to say anymore. I'm kind of lost myself. Um, so anyway, that's it. What are your thoughts on this subject? Why do people feel meaningless? Meaning, why do people have a sense of meaninglessness in life, and why do people feel empty? And let me know what your experience has been with this, and if you think there's anything that can help people with that. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.